Thank you, Ms. Pita. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to English Language Education Undergraduate Conference in 2021. My name is Danny Samuel. It's an honor to be a moderator for this session. In this session, we will have presentations from two keynote speakers. Each keynote speakers will have 40 minutes to deliver the presentation, including the question and answer session. Without any further ado, let me introduce our first keynote speaker. She graduated with a bachelor's, a master's, and a doctoral degree in English language education from Universitas Negeri Malang. She had expertise on writing, research methodology, prose, teaching media, and travel. She also published some articles related to her expertise on reputable journals, published some books related to literature and language teaching, and became presenters on many conferences. Currently, she is an English language education and English language literature lecturer at Universitas Negeri Malang. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first keynote speaker with the title Teaching During the Pandemic Challenges and Opportunities, Dr. Lestari Setyowati, M.Pd. Mrs. Lestari, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mas Dani. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrahli sadri wa yassir li amri walil 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Okay, in this beautiful morning, thank you for inviting me for this interesting seminar. I hope this will not be your last. You are going to have the future years, the same seminar or even bigger in the bigger scope, perhaps. Yeah. Thank you for inviting me again. I'm going to present my paper. The committee gives me around 40 minutes for the presentation plus question and answer sessions. For the presentation, I'm assigned to deliver this speech for around 20 minutes, but I'm going to make it less than 20 minutes so that we can have more question and answer sessions. Okay, Mas Dani? Okay, let me. This is the title of my presentation. I hope the committee will share it to you in after this seminar. Yeah, teaching during the pandemic: challenges and opportunities. Let me ask you: Are you teachers, or some of you are becoming teachers already, or are you purely students? Is there any of you teach somewhere, for example, in English courses or in formal schools like elementary schools, junior high school, or senior high schools? Is there any of you? Yes? No?
I have experience
as
maybe like a volunteer teacher in elementary schools.
Before or after the pandemic?
Before pandemic.
Okay, yeah, before the pandemic, of course, our way of teaching is between quotation is conventional or traditional. So you are in the classroom, sitting, facing the teachers, and then the teacher is going to deliver their materials, and you are going to listen and do some activities. But since the pandemic, all things change. So some people feel positively, some people feel negatively. I don't know about you, but we are going to explore this further. Okay, second slide, please. Second slide, please. This is still the first slide. Okay, the pandemic of COVID-19 has forced us, teachers, lecturers, educators, and students to teach and learn differently. With no certainty when the pandemic will end, we have no option. We means it's not only teachers, but also you as students, you have no options but to adapt to the change. Are we sure that next year we are going back to our usual life? There is no certainty on that. So what can we do? We have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right? Since most of the activities are done from home, teachers and lecturers should make use of the technology to its full potential. I was not good at technology at all before the pandemic, at all. at all. I was a little bit allergic to technology, but then because of this pandemic, I was forced, and until today, I'm forced to make use of the technology. I never use any Google Classroom. I never use any Zoom meeting, never use any Google Meet, never use any of those applications. But since the pandemic, with a lot of struggles, it's not easy, but there's a lot of struggles, and then we have to adapt to the change, whether we like it or not. Next slide, please. Okay, you need to know a term called extreme learning. Wang, 2012, states that in this century, he wrote this paper in 2012, before the pandemic. We never thought any pandemic like this happened at 2012, right? Learning is no longer confined to formal classroom walls because learning has penetrated an environment that people in the past has never imagined. In the past, we learned in a classroom like that. You see the second pictures, and then today, what we are doing now is in the first pictures. We don't like it. You hate it. I hate it myself too, but we have no option because we are bound with the government policy. So whether we like it or not, we have to do that. Okay, next slide, please. We are going to talk about the extreme learning. Okay, next slide, please, Mas Dani. What is extreme learning? The term extreme learning, which means the use of technology to learn in an unusual way for the sake of learning. So the use of technology to learn in an unusual way. Okay, this type of learning include and involve cyberspace, online communities, online groups, just like what we do, webinars, webcams, conversation, chat, short messages from smartphone, virtual classes, online learning resources, and open universities and free online courses. So you can learn everywhere, anywhere, without the bound of space and time. You can learn on the bed, when you are in the hospital. You can learn on the ship, when you can learn when you are in the plane, when you are flying, going from this region to other region. You can learn in the top of the mountain. You can learn in the battle. You can learn in the parking lot. We can learn everywhere. So Wang says this is what we call extreme learning. This extreme learning we experience nowadays. So without being aware of, we are experiencing extreme learning, because sometimes when your lecturer gives you assignments, you are on a train, right? Sometimes when your lecturers give you a lecture, also you are putting your headphones on the ears and you are listening it on a bus. So you are still learning, but not in an unusual way. So this is the extreme learning introduced by Bob, this term. Okay, next slide, please, Mas Dani. In reality, now let's talk the reality. How do the students and parents feel of online learning during the pandemic? So this is students' paper, yeah, a student's paper when I was in my previous university. Just like what Bu Ive introduced to you about the small-scale research. I did it in the past when I was with my previous university. So we did a small scale research. These students asked some parents in SMP Wahid Hasim about their opinion about the online learning during the pandemic. It is not confined only in English, but is more or less this is a general subjects. Do they feel positive or negative? Okay, let's see the result of her small mini-scale research. Okay, next slide, please. This article is published in Linguista, Jurnal Ilmiah Bahasa dan Sastra Pembelajarannya, Sinta 4. So, if you are interested to publish your paper in Linguista, I can give the what do you call it? One of the editors to Bu Ive. So if you are interested for the publication for your future publication. Okay, what is the students' view? The students' opinion of online learning. This is very interesting. Many of them see, I like online learning, so they like online learning. So why do you hate it? They love it. I like online. See the agree and strongly agree, yeah. 21st plus 17. Okay, online learning is effective. This is students' point of view. Online learning is me to understand the materials. I don't know whether I'm lying or not, but this is the data. Okay, the students' response. Online learning prevents the spread of COVID-19. Learning, it saves time, it saves cost. It saves cost, yes, because your parents doesn't have to give you extra money for transportation. Right, for the point of view of the parents, I like it. Because I don't have to give extra money to my son and my daughter for the transportation, for the for snacks and for lunch. But that's the positive side, yeah, from the parents' point of view. So this is perhaps from the students' point of view, that's a bad side. Okay, the students' difficulties. Okay, what are the students' difficulties from their point of view? Remember, this is the data was taken from the students of SMP, yeah, from junior high school students. Online learning difficulties are the signals. Yes, everybody experienced it. So I think this is general. The second one, online learning needs good or expensive gadget. Yeah, some of them think so, but for nowadays, gadgets are more or less in reach, yeah, within your reach to buy. The next one, quotas are problem in learning. Okay, 1, 2, 3 are common problems that not only the junior high school experience, but also for us, university students experience. So I think we can take the data as a general opinion for people in our surroundings. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please, Mas Dani. Okay, now we are going to see the parents' point of view. Do they feel similar? So this is the pro, yeah, this is the pro, those who agree. Okay, I like it because the kids stay at home. Yeah, me as a parent, if you ask me, how about, what is your opinion, ma'am? I like it. I have the same feeling. I like it because the kids stay at home. My child's online learning is good enough. He did well and understand material. That's what they think. That's what they think. So because they say it, we have to take it as a data, right? It makes the children become independent, can go follow the lessons, development of technology advantages, and so on. Agree with online learning. Okay, positive thing. The pandemic, it is safer for the children to stay at home. The schedule is more flexible. The online learning is effective because it saves time, and the children are safer to learn from home during the pandemic. Yes. So overall, this is still general that all parents might agree. Okay. This is the pro. The cons, please. Next slide. Okay. Okay, the cons. Okay, the children understand the lesson just a little for some of them. Yeah, online learning is ineffective. The first one says it's effective. The second one is ineffective. Perhaps the effective one get the report from the kids. How do you like the online? Oh, I like it. I stay at home. Why? Because when they have the gadget after doing some assignments, and then they can play Mobile Legends. That's what my kids do. It is difficult to learn online. It is different from learning at schools. They underestimated the lesson. Yeah, some of them, yes. The children only understand a small portion, and so on and so on. They hold small cell phones too often, complain they have more tasks, and so. This is the same thing like you. The parents do not know the abilities and the knowledge of the children, no difficulties, but we ask the government to help us with the quota for those who are not able to buy one. That's what they hope. Okay, the signal and quota are the difficulties that we often face. Everybody, I think, faces the same thing. The difficulties are when we run out of quota or the internet network has a problem. Sometimes the kids cannot do assignments given by the school. Yeah, the quota and the signals are the major problems. We can see that this quota and the signal are technicalities. Those are the technical problems. The signal is sometimes difficult and so on. So they are complaining the online learning based mostly from the quota and the signal. When you say the quota, it means the money, right? Yeah. So when we say about the fund, we cannot be too demanding because the government has given the students some help with the quota and some help for the online learning systems. Yeah. Okay. Next slide, please. The pro and the cons from the parents. We have seen the students' point of view. Now the benefits overall. So this is my summary. Overall, online learning avoid the bigger spread of COVID-19. It is flexible, it is safer, people acquire more digital literacy. I am in number 4, just like what I told you before. I never knew any of those applications. Now I have better digital literacy, but it is not the best one. Okay, so these are the benefits. This is the summary of all those findings. Okay, next slide, please. What are the challenges? So let's see the challenges. The challenges is not only from the students, not from the teachers, but also from the institution. If you say the students is the learners, if you say the teacher is the instructors, if you say the government, this is not the government, it might be the institutional support, it might be also from the content. Okay, so the challenges does not come only from the students and the teachers. There are so many and they are interrelated. So these are the challenges. The learners is not only, it is not enough for you to have the gadget in your hands, but you have to be able to operate some application to be able to join the class. Is that so? Right? Some students who stays in remote area, who was the first time holding a gadget, they might have difficulties how to submit the assignments in Google Classroom and how to send the emails. So this technical skills is very important even for the students. How about the teachers? Well, not all teachers are good in the digital literacy. I'm in the phase of learning. I'm in the phase of learning. How about the senior teachers, senior lecturers who are so blocked and so negative about the digital literacy? That is another challenge. So what can we do? Okay, that's the problem with the online learning sessions. Changing the role, transitions to online communication barriers. Yeah, this is a communication barriers. So what I experience, I don't know, perhaps your lecturers experience, I don't know about you students, but the lecturers experience, when we communicate in a WhatsApp group, for example, sometimes we take so long to understand and to wait for your response, because you depend on one another. Okay, everyone, can we do this task? Nobody is answering or responding to that questions in WhatsApp group because one is depending on another. So there's time is spent on waiting. That's a communication barrier. Okay, and then we have the online session like this, the synchronous session like this. When your teacher asks you a question, still you are depending on one another. You are depending somebody else to answer that question given by your lecturers. That's the downside of the online learning. The communication has changed the way we communicate. The communication technology has changed the way we communicate, but it also gives us weaknesses, disadvantages to have person-to-person communication. Because when we communicate, it is not only the word, the speech, the language is transmitted, just like what I'm talking to you like this, but we have also body language, right? We have also eye contact. We have also, just like here, this is automatically moving the hands. This is the body language, the gestures. So when we communicate in WhatsApp group, those elements are missing. Those elements are missing. Okay, the content. Another challenges is the content, the assignment, assessment, the feedback. How do we give feedback? How do we give positive feedback, negative feedback that the students can take for the personal improvement instead of making them lazier? How can we do that? That's the challenges from us as teachers. Okay, we are going to share your thoughts about this in the question and answer sessions, your feeling and opinion later on. Yeah. Okay, after the challenges, move to next slides, please, Mas Dani. Next slide. I forget about what. Okay, so the challenges. These challenges is the summary from that article. The article was written by Lili Innawati and the co-author is me. So I am the lecturer helping them fixing some parts. So these challenges are from that article. Yeah, if you want to read that article in full, you can visit Linguista what we really experience, No set time for classes, poor time management skill. Yes, some of us have poor time management skills. Sometimes you underestimated. We can still have something. The lecture start at 8, for example. You can come in as 8:15, 8:10. You can give excuses and reasons. I'm sorry, ma'am, the signal is not so good. I'm sorry. That's very common reason, yeah, typical reasons. But we are so understandable. It's not only me, but I think all your lecturers are very understandable and very kind. Discussion can be irritating, very irritating, very irritating. Whatever application you use, they are mostly irritating. Again, because of slow response, because you have many excuses. Yeah, well, we need solution. Self-motivation is challenging, yeah, because this is online, because this is effective, because this is flexible. Sometimes you have low self-motivation to join, because I can read the history chats. That's what you do usually. I can read the history chats. I don't have to join because I can have the summary and I can understand the materials. That's self-motivations. Having virtual guidance is a tough one. Yes, for us as a teacher, giving virtual guidance is a tough one. What if my students is in Medan? Yeah, in Medan, and this is real case. She has problem in writing. How can I give her guidance online? I want to meet her in person so that I can face her. Okay, I want her to see her writing. I want to be on her side. This is your mistake. You should not do something like this. But when you are doing it online, virtual guidance is very tough. Not so tech-able students and teachers. Yeah, this is what we call as digital literacy. So what do most Indonesian parents concerns? This is interesting. Most of the Indonesian parents concerned, based on that mini-scale research, they are worried about the students' real social life. Yeah, I think I share the same opinion, because my daughter and my son are at home mostly. Ada namanya generasi leye-leye, ya, generasi rebahan, ya. Those are the terms which we never know in the past, but we know it today. The generasi leye-leye. Yeah, the quotas and the unstable signals for teaching and learning. Yeah, just like what we have before. Difficulties to work collaboratively in real classroom. Yeah. And then students underestimated the lesson. Let me show you the gap in research. If you are interested. In difficulties to work collaborative in real classrooms is a field of research that you need to explore in the futures. You need to find out how the teachers form group work or collaborative work during the pandemic. Perhaps you can explore this and you can report. In the end, you can have the model how the best way to form collaborative work in online session. You can choose the level. Is it the junior high school, senior high school, or for the undergraduate level? Yeah, it has not much research on this. Yeah, group collaborations in online sessions. Okay, next slide, please. This is the challenges. Solution. Okay, this is only some of the solution. This is not the best one. The higher education institution need to provide professional development for instructors in terms of the digital literacy, training for learners in terms of the digital literacy, technical support for content and development. So we need to have more fund for giving more knowledge both for learners and teachers for the digital literacy and the support of the infrastructure. The teacher can apply online group work for the students to work cooperatively, but we never know how. That's the question that we need to answer. For you as students, perhaps you can dig more and explore this more. Apply a blended learning model for teaching. Yes, everybody talks about project-based, blended-based learning, hybrid learning, yeah. But perhaps the model for different skills and different components they are not similar. Yeah, you can explore more on this. The blended learning model for teaching writing, for example, the blended learning model for teaching speaking, for example. So those are only the ideas that we need to give more exploration on the teaching and learning process. Using project-based learning techniques, the question is how. Again, the how is more important for the teachers. Well, you have to know that practically in MKMP, they are more interested not in the theory, but in the how. Bu, bagaimana caranya? Okay, that's the how is for us in the higher education to explore, especially for you, for which is prepared and created for teaching the junior and senior high school level. You have to minimize the use of technology. You can use authentic materials available online. Why did I use authentic materials? Because books, paper-based books or printed books are no longer familiar and popular for students, because the teacher usually take the materials online, either authentic or not authentic. Okay. After the solution, what else? Next, Mas Dani. The opportunities. So what is your opportunities? Okay. You have more opportunities to be more creative as teachers and innovative in teaching. You can choose instructional materials, activities, assessment suitable for your students in this online learning sessions, in this online learning situations. Yeah, you have more exploration, more creativity, more innovations. There is no best method, I think. The best method, in my opinion, personal opinion, is one that is effective to deliver and to reach the teaching objective. So does it mean that drilling, for example, drilling is bad? It doesn't mean bad. If your focus is to pronounce well, of course you have to drill, do something like that. Yeah. So you have more field, more creativity and innovation for those subjects. Online learning will be more continual because we are not sure when the pandemic is over. So there is great and more possibility that it will continue. It will continue even after the pandemic is over. That's my personal opinion. Yeah. Even though more activities are more hybrid, so you have the conventional way and the online way, and you combine into blended learning setting or hybrid learning, but the online learning will always be there. How many years we have experiences online learning? I think it's almost 1.5 years, right? When you have a habit for 1.5 years, it is not easy to go back to your conventional way. So this online learning session will always be with you because you get used to it. Okay. Learning is freer. Yes, learning is freer. Remember about the extreme learning we have talked in the beginning. Learning is freer. It will not be a problem when, where, how we learn, because the space and distance are no longer a problem. No longer a problem at all. When we join a seminar like this, some of you perhaps are in West Java, some of you perhaps are in Kalimantan, some of you perhaps are in Bali or in other part of the remote area in Indonesia perhaps, and you can still learn, right? Space and distance are no longer a problem. Knowledge is rich and cheap for everyone. Cheap in between quotation means everybody can get the information. Teachers and conventional printed materials are no longer the only source of information. That is the downside of the online learning. Many of the printed books have low selling Low selling result because many of the consumer demand ebook, because this is ebook. You can take it from the internet. Yeah, you can buy from the Shopee, you can buy from Tokopedia. This is rich and cheap, and it is not as expensive as when it is printed. Okay, get scholarship. This is your opportunities. Get scholarship to improve your academic life and professions. I mean it. There are so many scholarships for students provided by many institutions around the world. Okay, next slide, please. What do I still have? Another slides? Implications. So this is what we have to do. This is the implications in the online learning during the pandemic. Because we are not sure when the pandemic is over, whether we like it or not, we have to improve our skills and digital technology. As I said to you before, I'm still in the process of learning. There are so many applications that I can make use of for my students in the future. That's what I have to explore. So improving knowledge and skills in digital technology, it does not end today. It is a continual activity because we are not sure when COVID-19 goes away. There is no research, so next year is going to end for all part of the world. No, there is no something like that. Okay, so this is the implication. Improve yourself in digital technology. Get more information and knowledge as much as you can relevant to your study and academic life. As much knowledge as you can. Why? Because it is free, because it is rich, because everybody can access. So you have to make use of your ability for the digital technology to download, to get those knowledge. My son now is in the second grade of senior high school, learn from YouTube. The teachers in YouTube, not in books. I think some of you are the same too. Yeah, the teachers in YouTube. So they get the knowledge from YouTube. For example, when I say it should be something like this, I don't believe you. Let me find the information. Let me browse information. That's what he did. Did and does. Join as much as possible online courses either provided freely by institutions around the globe or your institution to improve your skills. Online courses, some universities and teaching institution provide free online courses. If you don't believe me, you can open Oxford. They offer free writing courses. They open free academic writing courses. There are so many. Then you can join. It doesn't matter whether you are in Indonesia or in England or in Europe, at the part of Europe, you can join those online courses. Join as many as you can, free seminar and conferences relevant for your academic life. Orang Indonesia itu kan suka yang gratis-gratis ya. So, well, the world is in your hand. Try to get as much as knowledge as you can for those free seminars as you can find for students and conferences for you. You have to test yourself how high you can fly. How high you can fly. Publish your work online either for personal enjoyment or for money. Do you know what I mean by this? We even in the beginning has given us some information that some of your video are going to be published in the Pebasis channels, YouTube channels, right? Well, you can, with different video, you can have your own YouTube channel and publish more or less the same or different kind of how to teach young kids, for example, how to teach pronunciation to young kids, how to teach or how to develop certain media within your own YouTube channel. You can publish your own creativity and get some money, for example, in the future, or it is just for pure enjoyment. Because you want to share knowledge, because your intention is just to give more information for other people for the sake of knowledge. Money comes later. If you do something because of the money, you will not get the money. You will get frustration. Yeah. But if you do something because of knowledge and enjoyment for yourself, your hobby, for example, money comes later. So never think of money in the beginning. Use as many as possible applications for learning and teachings for quality enhancement. Okay, application, that is what we call as application. What are the application? For example, Grammarly, plagiarism. Grammarly has so many variations of applications. Dictionary, thesaurus, yeah, many are free and did not cost you a thing, only your motivation. Do you really want to have good writing? Do you really want to be able to use different kinds of vocabulary? If you believe on your own self self knowledge and self what do you call it, self confidence, and being too confident, you don't want to check in dictionary on in thesaurus. I believe your vocabulary are only so and so. Even me myself, I still open thesaurus. I still use dictionary. I use Grammarly. So for the students who are too confident of not using all those apps, yeah, sometimes I feel so gemes, this gemes in English. So irritating, yeah, so irritating because they are much too confident. Okay, next. I think I have one last slide. The reminder. This is the reminder. The use of internet for either full online learning or the hybrid setting is a two-edged sword. It has both advantages and disadvantages. Yeah, you have to be very critical and you have to be very careful in using whatever information and knowledge you can find in online, because it is free, because it is cheap, because you can access anywhere for your learning. You have to be very careful because anybody can change and post any information, whether this is true or untrue. Thus, be selective and be critical in choosing the information and be wise in using it. Teachers need to introduce the sites beneficial for learning, how to make use of it. Similarly, teachers also need to grow the moral conscience, the students' moral conscience for appreciating others' work by avoiding all types of plagiarism. Why is that so? Because the information online are free, they are accessible for everyone, and they are rich. So this is a reminder that I would like to share with you. The last slide, I think, thank you. I think it's thank you. How many minutes did I spend, Mas Dani? 10?
30 minutes.
13?
Yeah.
13 minutes. Oh, okay. Let me
A
stop
bit
now.
more.
Okay. Thank you so much for the time given to me, for the chance for me to share my thoughts and my students' mini-scale research. Let us share some thoughts. Perhaps you can have questions or not questions, comments or suggestions. Okay, Mas Dani, I give it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Lestari, for insightful and informative talk. Now we move on into the question and answer session. If anyone has questions to the presenters, please use raise hand feature and turn on your mic and camera if it is possible. Or you can type your question on the chat box. Does anyone have questions? Okay, since there's no questions, ma'am, I would like to ask something.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, I have experience teaching online learning in my practice semester. So the school seems did not support me to explore or make a good activity or good media in learning English. They just asked me to make it's okay lah. at least they learn English, so they don't care what I made. So, what is your suggestion? And I felt regret, like why I did not maximize my chance to explore more to teach English in my online learning. So, what is your suggestion for the audience since next semester they face P4 or PPL? So, what is your suggestion to the audience to uh, when they face same problems with me? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mas Dani. When we online online learning have more challenges than fun. More challenges than fun. That's one thing. So when you are asking me how to, you are going to have practice teaching in next semester, right? Will you do it online or is it in a hybrid setting or in blended setting?
I don't know, but
You think,
maybe
okay, let's prepare for the worst, okay?
yes.
Let's the worst is online setting. When you have the online setting, first thing you have to understand what skill. Okay, what skill do you want to teach to your students? Because different skills requires different techniques. When you are teaching descriptive text, yeah, for example, descriptive text to SMP students, writing, it will be different when you teach descriptive text in speaking. So you have to understand first is the skill. Okay, let us choose the descriptive text for speaking. Okay, speaking. Let me focus on speaking and reading. Yeah, after this, for speaking, of course, you can use. Oh, okay, the media. You complain about the media. The best media for me is the real one. Is the real one. For example, you want to describe something. What do you have in your surrounding that everybody in your class also have? Is it animal? If you have a cat, grab your cat, show it to your students. If you don't have a cat, but your neighbors has a cat, you can take a picture and screen share to your students. The real cat. Why not the pictures, ma'am? Because sometimes when we learn something, you have to relate what you learn and what is there in reality. It is not nice to learn something that you cannot find in reality. Okay, I think that's simple. For example, a book. This is a book, right? And you have the picture of a book. You have the picture of a book. A picture of a book in flashcard. And then how many book is this? This is trivial question. You don't have to ask that question. If you want to ask your students about singular and plural, one book, two books, real object is always the best. That's the way we learn the language from the child since we are born, right? Real objects. We never know that this is what is this? This is a glasses. This is a glasses, right? This is the real object. When you saw a picture in a flashcard, this is a glasses. This is trivial. You can, I'm wearing a glasses. One glasses, and then you have two glasses, three glasses. That's real. Okay. So that's one thing that you can explore in speaking. So when do they have to practice speaking? Ask them to record in their smartphones. Record, find objects in your surrounding about animals. Count, and then let them record in their own smartphones and report it to you. And then you can give comments. Jangan pelit-pelit kalau kasih komen, jangan suka menjatuhkan. Ya, oh, very good. But you need to improve this part. Very nice, good job. Yeah, they have to have the feeling of success instead of the feeling of failure. If they feel failure, they won't like you. If they don't like you, they don't like your subject. That's kids. That's us. If you don't like, tell me the truth. Do you like all your lecturers? You don't like all your lecturers, right? If you don't like your lecturers, sometimes you don't like the subjects. Same case. So they have to like you, give the feeling of success. Thank you, very good, it's nice, something like that. Now that's speaking, yeah, record, and then report. Second thing is that for the teaching of reading, in Zoom, you have breakout rooms. Okay, Zoom, you can have breakout rooms. You can play jigsaw model on that. Home group, and then expert group. Okay, you have 3 different topics of descriptive text. Home group, you give the home group the 3 different topics, and then the next one, after giving some times for them to discuss, and then you give the breakout room, one group going to the expert group, things like that. This require digital technology skill, which still I have to learn. The breakout rooms. If you are interested on this, you can apply this for your future research after you are becoming, if you take skripsi, for example, applying jigsaw online. Applying jigsaw online. Is it possible? Of course it is possible because you have breakout room. What if it is unsuccessful? For example, you have, PTK, action research, and this is unsuccessful. Does it mean that your thesis or S1 thesis a failure? No. If you are unable to reach the criteria of success, it doesn't mean that you are having a failure. No. Just report what you have, and then the future researcher can replicate your research to make it better. Okay, that's one of the area that you can still explore using the cooperative learning online. Itu yang saya belum pernah lihat. Yeah, you can explore this kind of thing. Okay, Dani, that's my comment on you.
Unfortunately, we only have still maybe 3 minutes, and there's questions on the chat box. Akmal Wisnu, what if the school virtual system do not have any integrated notification for the email? So they use the free application that already have an integrated email notification, or they should use their homegrown? Thank you.
I'm not sure I understand the question. What do you mean by this? What if the school virtual system don't have any integrated notification for the email? Do we have any integrated notification for email, for example?
Akmal, can you turn on your mic? Thank you.
Okay, Akmal, please kindly explain. I'm in the process of acquiring digital literacy, Akmal, so you have to explain it to me. Oh, Google Classroom. Okay, so, okay, now I get it. Sometimes in Google Classrooms, you have integrate, after you submit your work in Google Classroom, then you have the email notification, right, Akmal? Is that true? Okay, your question, what if after you submit your assignments in Google Classroom and you have no notification in your email? Should they use free application? Well, to tell you the truth, Akmal, I rarely check my email notification after the students submit the assignments. I check Google Classroom more often than checking my email. So what can the teacher do? The teacher needs to give more focus on the Google Classroom check instead of the email check. Yeah, that's in my case, my personal case. I give more check on Google Classrooms, who are the students who have submitted, instead of checking my email. For example, you have 4 parallel classes. Each classes have 30 students. 30 times 4 is 120. So you have 120 emails. They are loading, showering, pouring in your email. That's not nice at all, right? So I rarely check my email, so I directly go to the Google Classroom. So that's fine. No problem. No problem. Do we have to use free application? Yes, if you can. Free is always good, but not that good. I hope I'm answering your questions, Akmal. Yeah. Okay, that's the teacher's job to check the Google Class instead of checking the emails. Okay. Is my time's up, Dani?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil
Thank
Alamin.
you very much, Mrs. Lestari,
Thank you.
for your informative and insightful presentations. For informative and interactive presentation, hopefully this presentation will be very beneficial and very fruitful for us.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Lestari.